Hello everybody, my name's TankRunner, and welcome to another episode of Drawing Roulettes and World Building. First off, apologies for the quality of the audio. Normally when I record for a video, I've got a specific rig that I use, but I didn't have time to set that up, so I'm just using a normal microphone that I use when I'm playing games with my friends online. So again, apologies for that. This is going to be a little different compared to what I normally do and what I'm mostly known for, so there's no script, no pre-planning. This is just going to sort of be me spitting off the top of my dome, talking to you guys genuinely about the channel and how busy I've been and some of the stuff that I have planned for the near future and the distant future as well. It just felt weird not doing something after the channel hit its recent milestone. For those of you that don't know, the channel just hit 1,500 subscribers, which is awesome, but we're saving the Q&A for 2,000 subscribers because I don't want the Q&As to get so frequent and close together that they lose that special flair that they've got. But I wanted to do something, so I decided on an update video. But I didn't want to just be sort of talking over nothing, so playing right now is footage from the last 4 commissions that I worked on. Hopefully you guys are cool with a little bit more of a relaxed vibe today. So like I said, we only need 500 subscribers to hit that next milestone, so if you guys want that Q&A video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out. Next up, I was talking to you guys a little bit in the Discord about what the next upload is going to be, and I landed on the second episode of Caves and Creatures. I'm really excited to get more of this out there. I have plans to do one whole season, 12 episodes, and then sort of feeling it out and seeing how it does. If it ends up not doing super great, then hey, at least I've got a whole season of a show that I think is funny and is interesting to watch. It's got its own weird way of animating that I've sort of evolved, and I've stolen a few things from other animators, but I have changed a lot of stuff to make it my own, and I really like it, so hopefully it does well. I was telling you guys the other day that I'm having a little bit of trouble writing the episodes because as of right now, I've got a team of writers that are helping me that we're basically just shotgunning ideas at the wall. We're just writing down any random idea that we can sort of come up with for these 4 characters in a D&D medieval fantasy setting, and we've got a lot of them, like a ridiculous amount of ideas, but having a bunch of ideas does not give you an episode. So there's still a lot of trying to string those ideas along to turn them into an episode, or there's, you know, this idea is a big idea. This could take up a whole episode. But then there's other ideas where it's like, okay, this is like one gag. This is one joke. We deliver the punchline, we get in, we get out. It's just very quick. So that's why it's taken a little bit longer to work on episode 2 than it did on episode 1. Episode 1, honestly, practically wrote itself. Episode 2, though, we want to make sure that we establish these characters a little more before we start to throw them into situations. So then that way, the world building is set up, the character development is set up, and the jokes will land a lot easier if you guys know more about the characters and how they'll interact with each other. So that's what I'm working on there. The reason that it has been taking so much longer is that just in my normal everyday life, away from the channel, things have gotten pretty hectic. I don't think I've ever really talked about this before, but my day job is that I'm an axe coach. I teach other people how to throw axes good. I know it's very strange. I didn't even know that this was a thing that you could get paid to do until maybe 3 or 4 years ago. I've been throwing axes since I was a kid. I got taught by my grandpa when I was about 8 years old. Yeah, like I said, I had no idea that this was even a thing that you could do as a job, let alone a whole career, but it has been working out for me very well. I'm making decent money, and I have worked hard enough and have sort of shown everybody there that I know what I'm doing enough to get manager. So I've been doing that the last couple of years. I'm the manager of an axe throwing place, which is fucking nuts to say out loud sometimes. But things have been a little hectic at work. And then on top of that, summer has hit, so I'm a little bit more busy than normal because again, some of you may know, I lead a sword fighting unit, and a lot of the war game scenarios that we do, or they're not battle reenactments because we do actually fight each other. We don't use any live steel or anything like that, but everyone still uses like real metal full plate and chainmail. The weapons that we use are made out of like kite spar and fiberglass, things like that. The unit has gotten really big recently. We're almost up to 30 people, which is pretty good considering we've only been growing for about a year and a half. But, you know, a lot more events have been happening, and just coming up soon here in like maybe the next month or so, we've got an event that we're going to, which is a little different compared to what we're used to, because normally, like I said, we're doing like big scale battles, like 300 v 300 sometimes, and they get huge, right? We're doing a smaller scale thing because we're trying LARPing for the first time. It's so close to being adjacent to what we do, and like, you know, it's really adjacent, honestly, if you ask someone like me. But then other people are like, no, LARPing's for nerds, and it's like, you go out in a park and you wear like a samurai outfit, and you're gonna like tell other nerds that what they're doing is unacceptable when you're standing in a field next to a kid's playground beating the shit out of another human being. Like, you're weird too. But it's still super fun, and it's great exercise, and it's really good for dealing with your stress. Any of it, honestly, whether you're doing like just LARPing stuff, or whether you're doing battle game stuff, or you're doing like hardcore like SCA, things like that. It's really good for your stress. You know, other people play video games, other people garden. You know, I go out into the woods on the weekends and I beat people up with foam weapons. So but yeah, that's gonna be a new weird thing for me. I don't know what it's gonna be like, because it's gonna be like skills and magic and all kinds of stuff like that, which we don't play with normally. But there's going to be a like role playing and stuff, so we're all really excited to give it a shot. Hopefully it goes well. Our unit is doing a lot more fighting practices and going to events and things like that, because we can't do it during the winter, so everyone sort of tries to squeeze it into the warmer seasons. So the Caves and Creatures episode 2 is being worked on. It is almost done with the pre-production stuff. And then after that, I will immediately jump into the awful fucking slog that is animating for that show. The first episode was, it's like 3 minutes long, and it ended up taking me like a month and a half, I think, to finish the whole episode. That being said, though, a lot of it was working on the introduction, the like intro music theme and stuff, which a great friend of mine helped me work on. The link down in the description for that. You know, link down in the description also for like my commissions and stuff, just so you guys know. I probably put something back there on the screen to tell you guys that it was down in the description, but just in case, so I remember, link down in the description. But yeah, for episode 2, we don't have to worry about creating an intro from scratch. It's going to be the same intro. So that's going to make things a lot easier on me. But also, this episode 2 is going to be a lot longer because, like I said, I want to make sure that all of the characters get a chance to sort of introduce themselves to the audience. I am hoping after this episode, we start getting people talking about like who their favorites are in the cast. That's what I'm hoping to get to as soon as possible. I want to make sure that everyone has their own personal favorite. After that, I've got plans to work on more Pokemon content, obviously. I had talked about this a little bit in some of my past episodes when it came to my Pokemon region stuff. I'm taking a little bit of a break from working directly on the region, and I'm doing extra, not like videos that have gimmicks, but like that last Pokemon video that I did. That was audience submitted Pokemon designs that I redid and worked on to fit into my Pokemon region. I want to do more stuff like that. I want to do more contests. I want to do more very specifically themed videos. Things that will add up to working on the region, but aren't just me directly working on the region over and over again, because I have seen a little bit of a decrease in viewership, so I'm just trying to add some extra flair to get you guys excited about the region again. And compared to some of the Pokemon stuff that I had made recently, that last one with the contest winners, that one did pretty well. So I'm hoping to do more stuff like that in the future, including a second run of that contest. So if you guys have some Pokemon designs that you want to submit, head on over to the Discord, link down in the description. After that, I'm not sure exactly in what order stuff is going to start coming out, because, you know, I plan ahead pretty far, a few months in, just to make sure that I know what needs to be worked on when. But sometimes the order in which stuff comes out gets all flipped and switched and changed. So not super sure how things are going to happen after that. But I talked to you guys a little bit about a podcast that I worked on a few years back called Myth and Murder. It's a D&D style podcast, but it takes place in like a modern day alternate reality Earth kind of situation. I want to bring that to the channel, and I was thinking of ways to do that. I've got some ideas for visuals where I could, you know, draw characters while the episode is playing out, specific events and scenarios that happen throughout the episode. I have some visuals for sort of like a hyper stylized D&D character sheet that shows what the character looks like, explains what they're capable of, just so then people have a better idea of who's talking when and who's playing who. Not sure when that's going to come out or how I plan on introducing that to this specific channel. I don't want to release anything that feels weirdly out of place, but I'm excited to give this a shot because this is D&D tabletop related, which I have done stuff like that on the channel in the past, and I'm in the middle of figuring out ways to wrap the art side of my channel up in this podcast as well. So I'm excited about doing that. I'll probably drop like the first 3 episodes of the podcast during one single weekend at some point in the future. As soon as I figure out the best way to do that and how I want to go about it, you guys can just look forward to that. A bunch of videos dropping all at once. Which leads me into bringing up another idea, sort of banking off the Myth and Murder idea, which is if the Myth and Murder podcast does well, at least well enough, I have ideas to do something very similar, but for a Pokemon tabletop podcast. I know there's a lot of D&D podcasts out there, and there are significantly better ones than the ones that I am going to be putting on this channel, but I don't think I have ever heard of anyone doing a D&D podcast where the theme is Pokemon. And I feel like that might be the best way to sort of meld these two communities together that have started to grow on my channel. The D&D people and the Pokemon people coming together to watch a show that's all about people playing D&D, but in Pokemon world. I had run a Pokemon tabletop game before in the past for my friends. It didn't get recorded or put up anywhere, but we had a great time doing it. And honestly, something like playing D&D and having that be also technically me working on my YouTube channel, any kind of situation where I get to do what I love to do for fun, but I get to consider it doing it as work, that makes me feel a little bit better about procrastinating. Because in any situation where I would want to draw, it's no longer procrastinating from what I need to do because I've got a YouTube channel that lets me post my art there. Or, oh, I want to play Pokemon tabletop, or I want to play D&D. Well, if I do some artwork and I record it and I post it up as like a visual podcast, boom, there it is. No more procrastinating. I get to do what I want to do and have fun, but also it's getting work done, which is the best case scenario for me, honestly. But anyway, let me know what you guys think of that in the comments below. Any of my ideas, really, not just the Pokemon idea. And again, the last few ideas that I was just talking to you about is still kind of floating around in the void. No real concepts have been made yet. I haven't really thought about the exact way that I'll do it or who will be involved. That does remind me, though, it would be super great to get some people to be sort of guest appearances on some of the podcasts, even if they're not a recurring character or they don't play one of the main cast. Just having, you know, every once in a while, a few people from the Pokemon community or something jumping onto the tabletop podcast, that would be awesome. So if you know anybody, go ahead and spam all of them about me immediately, and we'll get this thing off the ground. Alright guys, I'm looking at my timer. It looks like I have talked for a significant amount of time here. I'm probably close to running out of footage for my artwork, so I'm going to start wrapping this up. Thanks for watching the whole way through if you did. If you liked this sort of free-flowing, freestyling, just us shooting the shit, let me know in the comments below and maybe we could do more of these in the future. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us out. But until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.